Hey there, everybody. Welcome. I am very excited that we are starting this live stream on time. It's now 3:30 Arizona Mountain Standard Time. I'm excited to show you how to paint eyes. Last week was how to draw eyes, and I thought, well, this would be a perfect time to segue into how to take the knowledge of those parts of eyes that we can use in drawing and put some light and shadow and color and some nice special effects to them to get a real to me what's important with painting is that they look alive and that there's good special effects. It looks like light is bouncing off of them, shining through them. So we're going to talk all about that. But first, I want to welcome everybody here. We've got Ben on the line here. He can say, hey, let's see if we can give you a shot of
everybody. We see you guys from Lubbock, brother. Texas. You're in Blythe. You're in the Netherlands. You're in New Zealand, British Columbia. What is that? Turkey? We got some people from Turkey here today.
All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Super big pleasure for us to have you watching. I feel very honored every time. Someone sent me, I'm trying to recall. It was Belle Bolser who won a painting some time ago. Gave me a wonderful gift of a world map. It came in the mail. I want to put that up somewhere in the background, so that we can do a better job of celebrating the connections that we have in all of these different parts of the world.
I like that. We could put a little pinpoint like on where each of you guys are from.
That's it. Well, I hope
Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Australia now. It's awesome, man. You guys are warming our hearts just by being here.
Yeah. Hopefully I have the capacity to accomplish that. The one hiccup with marking where you are all tuning in from is it will show my stupidity about geography, because someone's going to say, hey, I'm tuning in from Bulgaria, and I'm going to go to the map and not know where to stick a pin.
What a big old pin on Canada.
Now, where in Canada is
what?
that? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Yeah.
We apologize to everyone who's not in the United States. People that live here are notoriously poor at geography. It's just a thing.
Well, I can speak for myself. I am notoriously poor at that. Okay, so I'm going to keep my voice as low as possible and still keep things real audible here. Tell me if I'm too quiet, but I am trying to save it. I'm getting over a bit of a cold here, and
dude, we are looking forward to seeing what you guys are up to too. If you want to shoot us anything you're working on, we got info@muraljoe.com. Send it to that email address, and we'll pull them up and look at them, and you're going to be on live television. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's the email. info@muraljoe.com. Okay, so let's get started. Let's not make this show too boring. Let's go to the painting. And so we want to, when we paint, I think that it is most helpful. I approached painting as someone familiar with drawing. That's what I did. So when I first started painting, I thought, what shapes do I need to put what colors inside of? And so I always thought of everything as a shape. So why don't we just do a quick layout real quick? That's a bit redundant, isn't it? Okay.
I mean, as long as you can get it done quickly, I'm in.
That's interesting. That's the pressure. That's the pressure from the public rubbing off on me. I'm going to take lids off of my paints here. I've got primary colors just in case I need them. And so I want to...
Yeah, and a friendly reminder, these are what kind of paints here? A lot of people asking you still what kind of paint you're using.
Wall paint. It's water-based acrylic, latex. Latex is now a common way of describing acrylic water-based paint that's just for walls. People call it latex paint. I think it's pretty uncommon to still actually have latex in the paint, but whatever it is, it's a water-based wall paint. It's what you get to paint your walls. I am not sponsored. I am not devoted to any particular brand. These are actually a collection of different brands in old containers. And so I like to talk about color theory and how to use the colors that are available to you. And I like having an untainted message by using cheap tools and eclectic paint collection so that you can see that it's not these things specifically that are causing the artwork to take
Joe
shape.
is he's like the NPR of painters. You know, he
Is
is
that
not
it?
commercially endorsed.
Yeah,
This is user funding that makes this happen.
that's it. That's it. Nice. Okay, so what I've done is pre-mix colors, and these colors, I don't know if you can get a shot of these paints here, Brian. We got
Yeah,
Brian with
looks
us
good.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you got.
Brian's on the
Okay,
close up already, dude. We're
that's
in.
it.
We're
He's got it.
we're
Thank you,
yeah.
Brian. He's operating the camera for us. So let us know if there's anything that needs adjusted, if you need a better view of something. But I want to explain that these are pre-mixes of these colors. And the reason for that is just to make my job easier, faster. But I want to show you with primaries first, like I do in most of my instructional projects. I'm going to show you the science behind the colors. So we'll start down here. I'm going to put a set of eyes on this canvas, and let's start by creating some light and shadow in an eye socket. So we're going to use this red oxide color and some black, and right away just start creating a shadow. So this is where I already am thinking about the shape that I want. So I'm going to think, you know, like I'm going to create a downward facing angle. And so then I'm going to start lightening this. So I'll go to my yellow as typically as skin tone gets lighter. Then we see it also get yellower, not yellow, yellower. And so I'm going to put white in here. Now I have to stay real heavy. We're going to do a messy job on these. This is just for demonstration's sake. So it's going to be lighter toward the bottom, darker toward the top, and look how that will create a concaved shape. So I'm going to go over here, do the same thing. Whoops, I almost went to my premix. I'm going to go white. I'm going to put some yellow, and then I'm going to put some of this red oxide color and maybe a little bit of black. I started to lose some of my workability of it. I'll go up here, anything that's facing up. So maybe the nose bridge is not as shadowed. Now this might look like a strange object at the moment, but follow me here. Follow my logic that I'm creating the downward facing brow that's on the top of the socket. And then we're creating the upward facing part of the socket. That's really the top of a cheekbone. And so then let's take this and maybe put a little bit of shadow on each side of the nose. Let's say that there's a nose in here. Then we'll soften these shadows. We'll make all of the shadows. And when I say soften, I don't mean color, I mean the edges. I'm making the edges not so sudden. Okay, so you can see this starting to take shape right away, that I have the shadow, I have the light. And then let's say on the forehead, we need some highlight because this is where it is bending back up facing the light again. So I'm adding my yellow again, and I'm going to put white. I have to work nice and heavy. When you're working like this from primaries, I'm going to give you warning. It is hard. This is something you do for the practice. It's not so great for trying to accomplish a painting. Well, unless you want this very particular look. It is a look. You know, I will give it that. It's a unique look when you have all of the color variation that happens from mixing on the canvas. But it's a way for me to show you in that many colors together all at the same time. Okay, so building the socket, that's the first part that we're talking about, is the socket. The socket has many shapes, and it's up to you to decide it or to identify it in whatever model you're working from. So I'm going to create a little more highlight. The nose is going to get brighter as it goes down. We're not painting a whole face, but I am going to build some of the shape out a little bit. So let's take some of that red oxide.
Dude, that is a predator right there, man.
Yeah, you can see. So yeah, so right away we get into that's a good thing that you bring up, Ben. Is right away we have the emotion of that very downward. What would you call it? positioning.
Yeah, well,
And so,
they're like together and on the front of the skull too. I mean, that's a number of predators there. That's
okay,
could
yeah.
be.
There you go. Okay, good identification. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, you're right. So we have these associations with different emotions, right? And so these are the tools to manipulate your way to the emotion that you're trying to get to. And so if you know what the parts are and you can tweak the angles and move them around like a piece of clay, then you're well on your way to having control over over your work. And that's what I want. Okay. So I've got shadows on both sides just to show that it is facing less toward a light source. You know, it's very common for the light source to be out in the front or up overhead. So I can use those just generically. I can create a light source that's from up high. But it's also true that as something goes into a cavity or is recessed, it has fewer lights shining on it. So regardless of where the light is coming from most, any kind of cavity will be an average of less light because it's hiding inside the wall. So when you make a socket of an eye, you can rely on the sockets. You can rely on this shading setup even if you're going to modify the specifics of the lighting later. You can add other light to it. So the darker it is, the more recessed it is. Okay, now it's time to add the next couple of parts. So let's stay with the kind of dark, sinister look. Let's grab some of that color. And so I'll just mix some down here. We're doing primaries right now. Well, I'll move to the premixes, and you'll see how that makes my job way easier. So I'm going to grab a little bit of black, mix it in here, some white, because I don't want it in all of its primary intensity. What I'm mixing is an upper eyelid color. I want it to be brighter than these shadows, but not so bright because I don't want it to pop out. So the brighter I make it, the further forward it's going to come, because as we've established, things are darker as they go into a cavity. They are brighter as they emerge out into the light, and that's literally because as they emerge, there are more lights shining on them. I always think of a light as any object that you can see, by the way. When I say there's more lights shining on it, I mean there are more objects. This canvas, this is a light, and it's shining on my face. Not this face, my actual face. This is a light that's shining on my eyeballs. Not these eyeballs, my actual eyeballs.
Whoa, man, that's kind of meta, bro.
That's it, but it's the truth. And so it's a light, and so there are literally just more lights shining on an object as it comes out of any recessed space. Let me check the brightness. Okay, good. It's not nearly as bright as like the forehead there.
You know, Leanne is saying, wow, went from slaps of color to looking like a face so quickly.
Yeah, and it really is very sloppy. So it's not because of the neatness. Okay, top eyelid. I'm not going to bother with blending. Blending can make this look better for sure. But we're just going to put the parts in place because this paint dries fast. My hands are shaky. Blending is hard. Okay, top eyelid right there. I mean, we might be able to pull it off if I grab some of this dark. I said, we're not going to do this. Every time I hear myself say, we're not going to do something because it's hard.
Get ready, he's about to do it.
I can't even stand it. I'm going to put a gradient in there so that it blends. See how when there's a little bit of a gradient, it actually creates more of an emerging feel to that color. It looks like it now comes out of that shadow, you know. And so then you can take another color that's just a little lighter than that, and we can create a wrinkle by going above that now. So we go here. I gotta use two hands so that if I work bigger, then those little tremors don't matter, but I gotta use two hands here. There, so I created a wrinkle by just leaving the dark space in between my two slightly lighter colors. And so you can, if you're working with oils, you've got all the time in the world to carefully blend these and create small gradients that go into those into those wrinkles. And you, if you were here last week for the drawing, you remember we drew the wrinkles on top. We just drew the darkest shadows, really. Okay, now let's do, I don't know, we could go bottom eyelid or we could just go straight to the eyeball. I don't know. Let's do
Hey, while you're thinking about this, Space Cookie has a question.
Okay.
They're asking,
Face Cookie.
can
That's good.
yeah, man, Space Cookie's
Oh,
inquisitive,
space.
man.
Space. I'm in face mode here. I heard FAC.
Space Cookie,
No,
not Face Cookie.
not
What is
Space Cookie. Okay, get it right.
what kind of name is Face Cookie, man?
Yeah.
Space Cookie.
What is it? Let's hear the question.
Can they ask how the cheekbone affects the eye socket shape, if at all?
Great question. Yes, it does. The answer is yes. On a face, it's safe to say that everything affects everything. That's why I'm personally perturbed at animated flicks that are done on a budget. You know, they just find like an animated character that can be put in different positions, but then they make the mouth smile, but none of the rest of the face moves. And that looks so creepy and unnatural. But it looks creepy to me because it looks really unnatural. So yeah, the movement of the cheeks definitely affect the eyes, and I will show how that works. That is a great idea. And so when the cheeks go up, they will, now this is all subject to your experiments and trial and error, you know, because faces are complex and they do a lot of different things. So before I get too far into the cheeks, I just want to explain that right here I'm lightening the outer edges of this lower eyelid because that's a natural shadow that's on many faces, where it's the inner part of that lower eyelid has a bit more of a shadow as it faces down toward the nose, and so you'll see more visible shadow. So you can just see a shape. I just remember the shapes of it, you know. And so that's why I lighten the outside, because typically it is lighter. Doesn't mean it always is. Okay, so if this character had raised cheeks, such as in a smile, then the outer part of this eyelid would be immediately affected. And so I would bring that up. You know, I would bring that lower eyelid, but you're not going to see a lot of difference made without the eyeballs in there. But it would be like this. We're going to go shoop like that. And then we're going to go like this. We'll flatten this out. We'll kind of straighten it like this. And that slight squint, this is why eyes can smile without the rest of the face. See how that, even that slight, yeah.
This is wise, they smize.
Yeah, they can smile. So, you know, you can look at eyes and know a person's smiling because as the cheeks raise up, they'll squish this outer corner. So watch, when I put the white of the eyes in there, you'll see that effect. Okay, let me give my brush just a real quick rinse. And what we'll do is make a gray. Just very simple. It's just going to be black and white. And
hey, Valentina says, pinta muy bien, Joe. You paint so well. Muchas gracias, Valentina.
Okay. Muchas gracias. I appreciate that. Okay. So we're going to make a gray with just black and white. I've got a little bit of color in my brush. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Eyes can be a little bit on the pink side anyway. So you would think that to make the whites of the eyes are just going to go to your white paint. I advise not doing that because you leave yourself no room for the highlights and the reflections. So I actually default to gray all the time when I'm painting eyes. I start with gray and then I add the highlights. So let's go in here and put gray right here where the eyes go. I'm going to leave a little bit of a darker line right here. And as I said, if this was oils, these would all be like nice soft blends. You know, we could do a better job with this. But this is good for just illustrating the concept. Okay, we've got one eye right there. And then we're going to go here, put another one in here like this. And then we're making that little squint, that smiley squint. See that I exaggerated it. I exaggerated it on this eye, but you can see, let's see if we can tame it down a little bit right here. So this this shape, how it raises up that outer corner, that is what makes eyes smile. Sometimes it's more extreme, sometimes it's less extreme. And so the muscles of the cheeks push it up, and that's why that happens. But you can experiment and see how accurate you think my claim is. Okay, so now let's put some brighter white toward the middle, because as the eye comes out from under the shadows of the eyelids, it's going to get a bit brighter. So I want a brighter white in order to make this eyeball start looking like a ball and not like just a flat gray cartoon shape. Not that there's anything wrong with the flat gray cartoon shape. I just want to show you how to get that three-dimensional look. Okay, there we go. So see how that immediately brings it forward like that. Okay, then I'm ready to put the colored part of the eye on. So let's put, what color should we make it? Any opinions on the color of the eye out there?
This is looking like some Phantom of the Opera stuff right now.
Yeah. And, you know, incomplete faces are notoriously creepy. So don't be discouraged.
Hey, Ariella says that big painting you posted yesterday is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I was commissioned by a customer in Florida, a really nice fellow and quite knowledgeable about composition, and he helped me. Chad helped me quite a bit to put together that composition, which was for their brand new little baby. So it was a really satisfying, fun job to do for little Daxton. So
you got any plans to do a longer session about that painting, she's asking?
Oh, we definitely could do that. You think we should? You think we should talk to, you know, I have a lot of raw footage that I documented about that, where I just talked about what I was doing and why. So we actually could do a live stream that just runs through that uncut.
Yeah, man. Joe's like, hey, bro, can you make me like a 7-minute video? I say, yeah, sure, man. Send me some footage. Dude sends me like 10 hours of footage.
Just something real quick. Just skim through it. Just do a quick skim through. And...
So Ariella, Joe can talk, man. He talked about that painting a lot. We'll see. We'll see about that. But we got votes for blue, green, couple for blue.
All right. Let's do some ridiculous blue eyes. Let's just make them so blue it's not natural.
Crazy blue.
Okay. Now, the color in an eye is going to be brightest. Well, I'll say opposite side of the light. So if the light is coming from above, which it commonly is, so we're gonna go like this. We'll go blue. I need some more white in there. You know, I didn't get quite enough of the whites of the eyes in that one. Let's grab a little bit of this white and go over here and zoop. Let's put that in there to bulge that eye. I realize the colored part of the eye is just going to cover it up and it'll be like I didn't even do it. So I definitely want to see the difference between the lighter and the darker to get those round eyes. Okay, so let's put the blue right here, make it as round as I can, which is not my expertise. You know, painting real nice circles. It's not my strong suit.
Hey, thanks, Mary, for letting us know about the corals. She really appreciated all the colors you put in the lower corner of that sea turtle painting.
All right, cool. Once again, kudos to Chad. He was like, I want coral here. Right? I had very little to do with that.
Yeah, do this exactly.
Yeah. So actually, it was a collaborative effort, but he was right on.
Yeah, you got a guy, Howie, sent you a pretty awesome sea turtle he's been working on too over to.
Oh, nice. We should stop for a second and take a look at that. Let's stop and take a look. Let me know when you got it loaded up, and we'll just take a quick break from the painting and have a look. So here I am putting a dark pupil right in the middle. Okay, now you remember when we did the drawing, I said darker at the top, lighter at the bottom, and then I left the white space in the middle. Well, we can just put a white dot on this when we're ready. But first I want to establish the darker at the top and lighter and more colorful as it goes down. So notice that at the top of this iris, I have darker colors, and then I let it be lighter and brighter blue. So I added black to deaden the color. I don't want the real vivid blue, the most vivid blue. I don't want it at the top. I want the most vivid blue right down there at the base of the eye, because that's where the light comes. That's how you get that round, translucent, illuminated look of an eye. And right now,
Hey,
the
check
paint
out
is
this sea
wet.
turtle real quick, man, that Howie sent you.
All right, we're gonna do that. Let's give it a look. Let's let this eye just sit here. Okay. Yeah, let's scoot over there and have a look. Let's check it out. Whoa! Awesome!
He's got it
That's
going
that
in
thing.
your same basic acrylics on a 3 by 4 foot
Nice
chunk of
work.
drywall.
Oh man, I love that. Look at that.
Yeah, man.
The
Pretty cool,
form.
dude.
I just have to admire the stoic form of that sea turtle. It's just such good positioning.
That's right, man.
The way its
I wanna be
arms.
that sea turtle.
Yeah, yeah, it is just in that environment as much as it could be. It's just awesome.
So Howie says he's been learning a lot. You're bringing back a lot of skills that he
Wow.
has atrophied. So
Okay, sweet. Well, thank you very much, Howie, for that encouragement. That's what I hope
yeah,
for.
and then Mary C's got a question for you about
Turtle
your
looks
live
amazing.
streams.
Okay, what's
She's
that? Shoot.
wondering, has doing these live streams helped you with your work?
I think yes. Yeah, because anytime you go in front of the world and start claiming stuff, it crosses your mind, am I right? And so and so it has caused me to review and second and third guess everything that I say is true and works, because my goal is to put reliable information that consistently produces results out for people to use. That's my passion really. And so the thought of putting out information that is not reliable is terrible. I hate that thought. And so it's just caused me to be a more careful, thoughtful researcher of the things that I'm after. It's helped me in my work. It's helped me to also loosen up. Like when I'm painting fast here for a live stream, I can't afford to get obsessed with the details. It's not going to happen. It's going to be the most boring show
And
ever.
you do get obsessed with
Yeah,
the
I
details.
do. But it puts a stop when you realize, oh, you've got a few minutes left and you still got to cover such and such content. So it forces me to just get right down to what makes the difference and leave the rest. And I love that practice. So really it's an improvement that comes from having the pressure put on me. I like the pressure, makes me perform better. And sometimes it makes me make a mistake in front of everybody. It makes me say, what? Heat waves? I got this. I can do heat waves.
Oh, if there's one thing you can paint, it is heat waves. I mean,
been there,
Joe
done that.
is master
Yeah.
of heat wave painting.
Yeah.
I mean, he should just, I mean, after he gets these eyes done, we'll just heat wave these
Yeah,
eyes. It's gonna be
yeah.
amazing.
Okay. The famous little white dot of reflection right there. That's what you do. Once you've got the stage set, that little white dot pays off a lot more. So you get the light and the shadow in the right places, and then that white dot really looks like reflection because you've got the roundness of the eye defined, and you've got the shadow on the upper part of the colored iris. Okay, so then you can get creative and put all kinds of stuff in here. Oh, let's do eyelashes. I'm gonna see if I can get. I don't know if my hands are steady enough to do some good little. We'll try. We'll see what.
Speaking of steady hands, Sarah is curious, is there a particular reason you're using such a large brush for the intricate details of the eyes?
This guy.
Like, wouldn't it be nice to use a small brush for small details?
Yes, it would.
Dude, like,
yeah.
I thought you were
So
supposed to be good at this.
So why? Look at those eyelashes. It's so bad. Oh man.
Yeah, that sucks, man. That was horrible.
Check mark. Hey, you saw me draw it.
Should I unzoom all the way?
Yeah, zoom way out.
But look at the left eye. Look at the left eye. You can see that I'm clearly more skilled in circling that direction than I am circling.
So what have we learned from this massive failure? What have we learned?
Well, we can look at how badly these eyelashes are done and how they still complete the picture and look right in place. Look at the license that a
I
little
mean,
bit
I've
of knowledge
seen, unfortunately, I've seen eyelashes like that.
There you go. That's it. I'm not even going to
I
fix it
was
because that's not the important part. You know, you
sometime
can
in
see.
junior high, I think a lot of the girls were trying to figure out what they wanted to do, and it came out like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So let this go to show you that when you're getting all pumped up because you get good at drawing morbid things and zombies and spooky looking eyes, just know that it takes an expert to make pretty eyes. It
Yeah,
really,
the title of this video is not how to paint pretty eyes.
yeah,
That is not the
yeah.
title. I mean, we might do it like a dragon or something pretty soon.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. We'll do that. We'll switch it up. We'll do a different kind of eyes after we get this. Okay, so now watch the shortcut to this. Now I'm going to go to my pre-mixed colors. You can see that I've got my primaries making all these blocky colors, and you know it kind of does create a style. But I can very quickly just come in here with these pre-mix. Say, here's my light skin tone. I did a highlight, a shadow, and a mid-tone. This is the highlight. Okay, here is the mid-tone. Okay, we're going to put that mid-tone right here, like this. And it looks like we're going to have a little, I didn't test this ahead of time. And so this is going to create what it creates. And then we're going to put shadow in here. Here's my shadow color. Oh, look, nice dark shadow.
Nice, dude. This person has like a tumor growing out of their cheek now. That's cool.
Yeah, okay, good call, Ben. Good call.
Bulbous, man. You achieved bulbous.
Yeah. And you know why that happened? It's just because of the brightness. So I made a three-dimensional shape just by changing brightness. That's what I did. So that is a very valuable observation, that we instantly have that bulbous look to the cheekbone. So if I need less of a bulbous cheekbone, now I have an answer. I have something that I can do to make it stick out less.
Isn't bulbous a great word, by the way?
Yeah, it is. It's like my nose.
Bulbous.
It describes my nose just right.
Less bulbous, more bulbous.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Bulbousness.
That's it. All right.
Hey, how do you paint lens on glasses? Aaron is curious. Maybe we could put some glasses on some of these eyes today.
Okay, yeah. All right. That is definitely more complex. Let me think. I don't want.
Yeah, we'll rain check that. We'll come back to it.
We might be able to. Remind me to do that, okay? We're gonna put a shadow.
Having a fun time looking through your glasses lens at your canvas from this particular angle.
Okay, very nice. Nicely said.
Yeah, we are
okay.
We are a detail-oriented audience here today.
Okay. All right, so we've got a cheekbone right there. The brighter I make it, the more it sticks out. I've got a nose right here. The brighter I make it, the more it's going to come forward. We're not going to get into how to paint noses. That's a future video. But I just want to show you how pre-mixing these colors, I can quickly just go to them and put light and shadow in these same areas, and then go to blend them and spend a lot less time trying to get to the right color, and a lot more time blending the color exactly where I want it to go, like up here along the nose and down here, you know, slightly darker here, lighter here where the cheekbone is. You know, we'll leave it rough like that. And so you can see how this is a very handy thing. So we'll move on to a different set of eyes now that we have demonstrated how to put these parts in place. So remember the parts. That is the one thing that should not be underestimated, is how powerful is the knowledge of the parts and their general location in relationship to each other. You know, we want to just remember that. Okay, let's do this. Let's put a bright forehead on here too. We have a much smoother skin tone now too. It's actually starting to look a bit more natural, if you ask me. You know, this color. So you get consistency when you pre-mix. Just because you see me working from primaries all the time does not mean that is the way. Doesn't mean that it's the best way to accomplish something, you know, like we were saying before. Put the brow in there. I like to go dark brown for the brows, and then put my darkest color on top of it. You know, I get darker as I move toward the middle, because then you get the natural look of hairs growing off of skin and maybe leaving subtle shadows. See how that darker on top of the lighter shade immediately creates the look of there being a shadow on the skin from that dark brow. So you can have some fun, putting these together, manipulating the parts. So something I should probably cover is how the socket comes over, and you'll see this highlight right here. This is important. This changes a lot of expression. And so we have the upward facing part of the socket, and you can just look for this on people when you paint them or when you draw them. Okay, and then there's a line, and maybe it's a soft line, maybe it's a hard line, depending if they're smiling or if there's a lot of wrinkles. But this is a distinct change from the downward facing above the eye to the upward facing cheekbone. So this right here, this line is fun to mess with. You get lots of different expression by messing with that line. Okay, so once you know these things are here, you can look at pictures and make your own identifications about what the parts are doing. You don't have to have another artist. That's I looked over at my computer as Ben was doing it. It says Mural Joe is presenting, and that really sent my mind for a loop right there because we're using a Google Meet call.
Sorry, bro. I got this awesome picture from this dude Kyle of his face. You should come look at.
Okay, we're gonna do that because I am going into that zone that I talked about. I can't afford to on live streams. We're gonna stop in those eyes. We're gonna do different ones. Okay.
Yeah, man. Check this guy out. Kyle put this guy together. He's looking for any thoughts on what may appear.
Okay, good job on the full face. Yeah, I interrupted you, Ben. Go ahead and say what you're saying.
He's looking for your thoughts on what may appear off, if anything.
Okay, well, the canvas is already distorted a little from the camera, and so I'm not going to be too critical on this, but a good method that many artists have told me about as well for identifying things that may be off is looking at a mirror image. If you flip the image back and forth, you may see that you have one eye higher than the other. You may have one whole side of the face a little more than you want it to be. And so that can just help you to get out of your tunnel. As an artist, your mind puts amazing things on the canvas through the power of imagination. That same power will conform your drawing to be what you're trying to see, and it'll work against you. So you don't want your imagination saying, it's good. If you flex your brain hard enough, it looks just right. It'll do that. My imagination does that to me all the time. So holding it in a mirror can really be helpful. And so I think that you might see just what you're looking for on that. But I just want to encourage you and say your general proportions, the location of the eyes, nose, mouth, all look very natural to me. It's the small things. It's the small things that you'll probably see if you just flip that image around. So what if we're doing something else? Let's do a different kind of eyes. Okay, by the way, to do glasses, we'll let one of these dry and we'll do glasses. But the look of glasses is really as simple as just a transparent little bit of a foggy reflection with the frame around it. We don't have to make it super complicated. I could distort the image, to give a fair answer to the glasses. I could distort the image and then appropriately put reflection. But if I just wanted to put glasses on a face and have it look believable, I really would probably just let this dry and then put a light layer over the top that is a very transparent reflection of the environment. And same way I reflected the eyeballs themselves, I would just put a light, and I'll show you. Better to show than to keep explaining. All right, what kind of eye? Do we have any other ideas for eyes? Let's talk about some different kinds of eyes.
Yeah, guys, hit us with some eyes in the chat over here. Any questions you got for Joe? Any suggestions you got?
I'm just going to have a little bit of fun here, until another idea comes in. Go ahead and shoot your ideas, but until that happens, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun here. All right, let's say that we've got eyes like this. You know what these are? These are brows. These are eyebrows.
Whoa,
this is that moment when my imagination is filling. It's filling in the blanks. This is black and yellow. And so here's what I'm going to do. Shadow above the eye. Let's
While
go
he's
like that.
doing that, I just want to welcome you latecomers from Stockholm, Sweden,
Whoa, nice.
Ireland,
Cool. Thanks for being here. Yeah, for
Arizona in
sure.
the house.
Sweet. That's fun.
And there's this one person from Blienda. I've never heard of this place before.
What is it? Spell it.
Blienda?
Dude, we have to apologize for butchering it. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man, how
Yeah.
disrespectful am I? Yikes. Probably
But
shouldn't have said anything.
thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here from Blienda.
Yeah. Oh man.
Place sounds cool.
You know what's extra embarrassing is when you think that you're reading some exotic, different, faraway place, and it's actually a very common thing that you didn't know how to spell. That's happened to me. That's what I get. Actually, Epitome Hawk is Epitome Hawk. If Epitome Hawk is out there, I just have to reminisce and laugh. That's a username. And I looked at the word epitome and read it epitome phonetically because I never used that word.
Dude, I did that
Right.
well into my adulthood. I kid you not, until I was in my 20s. I
Oh
was like,
no.
what is epitome? Why is
What is
everybody
that
always writing
word?
epitome?
Yeah, what is that? Then someone finally tells you, graciously, that's
Yeah, man. Hey, Blainda is a place, though. It's down there by Jakarta in the South Pacific.
okay,
So,
right on. Sweet. That's cool.
welcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. All right, now here's what we're going to do with this thing. We're going to put scales on this forehead by using brighter spots. So now I'm using the trick of lighter colors come forward. White comes forward, white comes forward, comes forward, comes forward. So now we got this ridge coming forward up the top of this head. Oh, it's very Yoda-like, isn't it? Well, it's got this kind of bright greenish, yellowish look to it. Let's put some
It's like Grinchy. Grinchy meets Yoda.
some scales on top of the
Really?
brow.
Grinch Stole
Okay,
Christmas.
that's a big brow right there is what it is. Okay, now we need some eyes. So I'm gonna make these eyes. What's a color that you just never see on
I mean,
eyes?
when's the last time you saw purple eyes?
Man, I was just thinking that exact thing. Okay,
Dude,
magenta and
Go,
blue.
man, go.
Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna go like this. We're gonna put a bright color at the base of it. We're really gonna make these pop by going darker up here. So we'll use more of the blue. The blue is a real nice dark color.
Brenda sees alien eyebrows.
Yeah, oh, it is alien. That's so alien. Okay, who believes in aliens? Let's talk about it.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Here we go. We're opening it up. I tend to
Hear
believe
everybody's
twice.
best alien story.
Yeah, dude, I've heard crazy, but I'm a natural skeptic, but I don't like calling people liars. So I'm
Dude,
always
you know
stunned.
how excited I would be if I saw an alien or had an authentic alien abduction experience? That would be so exciting to me, just to put it to
just to
rest,
know,
you know?
just to know. You'd be like,
Would
man,
love that.
Yeah, I'm with
Bigfoot
you.
action, maybe.
Yeah, but Fire in the Sky was pretty disturbing. That was a disturbing.
Well, for us imaginative types, you got to be careful. You start talking about aliens and showing us all these well-crafted
Yeah.
cinema stories.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's in there, dude. The imagination runs.
Yeah, and when you're
I'm
a
no
kid,
good with scary movies for that reason. I'm a 40-year-old man and I can't watch scary movies.
Yeah, me neither. I just don't do it, and I don't feel great walking by myself through my house in the dark. It's
Yeah, all of a sudden your own home may be infested with gremlins. Who knows?
That's it. Okay, we got big buggy eyes right there. All right, what should we do next? Come on, okay, I got to put the parts. Think about parts. We want believability. So what I'm going to do next is put an eyelid. So we need an upper eyelid. And I'm going to just use yellow right on top of this blue and black. That's going to create an upper eyelid, just like that. We're going to go like this, do the same thing. We're going to go like this. Put it there. There we go. That's kind of fun. Watch this. We'll put some highlight on there, just little dabber-doos, because this might be like a scaly upper eyelid. And so we'll just take yellow. You know, yellow makes green real easy. If it mixes with any dark color, it's real easy for it to turn green. So I'm getting all kinds of different shades of green without even trying, just because it hits those dark colors. There we go, upper eyelid. Now we need a lower eyelid. Okay, lower eyelid, just like this eye right here. We're gonna go like this and put more black in it. So let's just go this way. Now, they're under the eyeball. So I don't want to put the lower, well, you can experiment with putting it anywhere, but it will immediately take on a much more natural look if you're careful to place it as though the eyeball is overhanging it a little bit, you know. So as I put the rest of a face on this, maybe this will make more sense. But let's go like this and put a little bit of color now on this.
Hey, thanks for tuning in from Germany over there at
Sweet.
midnight 15 a.m.
Oh man.
In the black of night, they're watching you paint aliens, dude. How cool is that?
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm very honored. I didn't mean to paint an alien. I was thinking more like reptile or dragon, and then an alien is what came out.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
We all knew an alien was going to get
Oh yeah, I
painted
can change
today.
this in 2 shakes. You watch, buddy. It's not an
Hey,
alien.
somebody already thought this looked like Viper,
Let's go like
like
this.
a serpent of sorts from Dota 2,
Boop.
whatever that is. Props to Dota 2.
Boop. Okay, cool. Nice. It actually looks like a real thing. Okay, now what color should the pupil be? I think purple on orange is a fantastic is like a fantastic color contrast. So I just want to try something here, just for giggles. We're gonna put a different color. There is no
You're
white.
secretly, are you secretly a Phoenix Suns basketball fan, Joe?
Oh, is that what they are? I didn't even think of that.
Over there in Arizona?
Yeah, no. Nope, that's not the case. Sorry to disappoint anyone
yeah,
who is
okay.
fans. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's just
Okay.
cool. Purple and orange is just cool.
Yeah, I just want to see that splash of bright color in the middle of this big purple eyeball.
Aaron is kind of seeing a cupcake at first, like a green cupcake.
Okay,
Like a
nice.
muffin top.
Nice.
Yes, maybe a couple purple sugar jewels.
Nice. So the one theme I will be sticking with, though, is making sure all my colors are brighter and more intense as I get to that lower part of the eye, or the part of the eye that is opposite where the light's shining. So again, assuming light coming from here, and because I want that illuminated look. Now the last thing I'll do is put some kind of a pupil in there, black next to that little white reflection, get some good contrast going. There we go. Ooh, that's kind of an ominous look. I like that. All right.
And also, Norina says, good job, Brian, for posting for this portrait just off screen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We're busted.
Am I posing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our method secretly got busted. People thought I was painting from imagination.
Oh.
Yeah, Joe's only this good because he's painting
Gotcha.
Brian's
Yeah.
actual self-portrait right now.
Yeah, that's it. Oh man. It's always the nice guy. Always the nice guy that gets the flack. Okay, so now we're just creating the rest just real quick, just because we don't know what else to make. We're just creating a creature. Everything I make is just based on my previous studies of the parts. So, as I'm doing the rest of the bone structure, I'm just trying to make it somewhat consistent with other things that I've seen before, and then throw my own little spin of creativity on it. So these ridges, it's just something I've seen on other reptiles, animals. I just think it looks cool. The little tear lines coming down from the eyes, like that. I like that. And then we're gonna go up here and go maybe like this, and maybe go like this. There, see, now it's a different kind of creature. Okay, let's put nose. Let's put a nose right here. Watch. Right there. And let's go like this. Now we've got some kind of a dragony. And then we'll put light coming out. See, I did gradients 2 different ways, like this. There, now I've got light coming out of the nose like that. We could even put a little splotch of white to put some believability to the nose. Just to.
That's pretty rad. We got gills going on this guy.
Okay, now I recognize myself.
No, now.
There he
now.
is. There he is. It's really, the thing about Brian is it's really in the cheeks.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get it. You got to get it.
It looks shape. Like a alien serpent. Oh no, that's Brian. No, I see the cheeks.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, it's a very therapeutic, fun thing to just be freely creative. I want this for everybody that watches, because people are at all different stages. Some of you more advanced than myself, and having the ability to just freely throw the parts around and see what happens. It's a fun thing, So that's all I'm doing is just taking the different pieces that I see out there when I look at nature, putting them in a different order. Okay, there we go. Now we've got the shape of this creature. We're going to go ahead and put more of the highlight up here on the head, like this. Get a little bit more shadow coming up on the side of it, like this. We'll give it temples right here, because this is where the brain is, right back in there.
A lot of people are going to have nightmares tonight, they're saying, Joe, so thanks for that.
Oh, and we were talking about being scared of the dark. Well, now you can understand. Now you can understand why the dark is a little bit questionable, and I feel a little uneasy because these images.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this thing came out of the darkness of your brain, right? So
I mean, I don't call it darkness.
Yeah, the fog.
That's your word.
Or the ambiguity of your brain.
Yep, that's it.
This thing came from the depths of darkness.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's actually a very friendly creature. It gets misjudged all the time.
Hey,
this is the.
It ain't easy being green, man.
No. It's first impressions are hard. Okay, so we've got that. We're gonna put some. I'm gonna call it quits on this creature after I put the upper lip just under the rest of it. Give it that reptile look. Just gonna put some of that right there. I guess you don't really see that side of it as much. Do that. And then we put, the last thing it probably needs is a little bit of teeth, just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of teeth. But let's hear some other eye ideas out here in the chat, you guys. A lot of stuff's got eyes.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has. Oh, here's a good trick about eyes.
What do you guys?
Getting off track. Okay, I'm gonna do a trick with the eyes actually. After I do these teeth in here. There we go. Let's put some teeth. There's so much fun to be had in painting by just letting light and shadow create the three-dimensional shapes instead of trying to manually get all the turns and corners of different shapes. Anyway, I wanted to show you what a gray can do. Watch what just gray can do right on the edge of this eye. Just white, black, and we're just going to make a line right here. Watch this. Just like that. We're just going to create that round reflection. There, see? It interferes with so much, we're painting away a lot of the color on the edge, except that causes the eye to look more round and reflective, and I just think that that's a super fun thing. So we'll maybe put a little bit of extra dots of reflection in there, like that. Maybe we'll put a little bit of extra pupils, because I think a creature needs more than just a simple single pupil. So we'll
come check out these eyes that Nancy sent you.
Okay, there's my... That just got really devilish looking. Let's take a break. Okay.
Yeah, whoa.
Now we're moving on to
away
beauty.
From the alien.
Now we're looking at some real beauty. Okay, I like that. Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, look at the fur on that. You've got some patience to do that. It almost looks like an etching. Very nicely done. Okay, so this is a good example. The the bright color, sorry about the little icons, I'm making that happen right over that eye. Look brighter near the bottom. This is a good look, you know, and then if you were to put like a little dot of white in it, even if it's not in a photo, it always looks awesome when you do a little. Oh, and you do have it right in the middle there when I get my little mouse off of it. That is beautiful. I like the way that looks. Yeah, I love it. You've even got that tiny bit of bright reflection across that middle black part. Love it. I love the white whiskers coming out of the top of that eye too.
Yeah, good job, Nancy.
Doing paintings like that can show you so much about parts too. You know, you can see the things that animals and people and all kinds of creatures have in common. Get more familiar. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's do a different kind of eye. Unless we got more stuff to look at. You just stop me, Ben, if we got more stuff to look at.
Let's move on.
Let's say we want to do something, let's say, well, should we veer a little bit more toward human again? Let's do that. Let's veer a little bit more toward human.
What about, secondary highlights? Michelle is asking about. Does that make you...
Well, okay, when I hear secondary highlights, I hear art class language. And I don't know a lot of art. It's not bad. It's just that I don't know a lot of art class language because I just learned by the trial and error of what I found that works. So if I were going to guess the way we can apply a concept of secondary highlights, I would think of maybe in this, for example, I'm thinking of the lights that are not the immediate, obvious big burst of reflection, the highlight, or we have the real bold color. But secondary highlights, you might think of the less and more subtle differences that you embellish on the accents of colors a little bit. But me, I like to keep it real simple. I like to stay in the shallow water of explanations and say, it is a reflective surface. It is reflecting the environment that it's in. I reproduce the environment that I imagine it in, and that's it. That's where I go with highlights. I just model what the light would do if it hit those objects, and I think, and then the secondary highlights end up inevitably being created without me trying to think about it. I can't tell
octopus. Do you know what octopus eyes look like? Gringle is suggesting octopus eyes.
Octopus eye. Okay,
they have little like plus-shaped pupils or something weird like that.
Yeah. They got some. Nope. I can't pretend to know it, but we're gonna do my best 2-minute octopus. Okay, ready, set,
all right,
go. It's gonna be red. All right. We're gonna go like this.
Octopus.
And octopus. It's gonna flare out like this. It's gonna go like this. It's gonna have tentacles like this.
Whoa,
okay,
man,
and then it's gonna.
Eyes are weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
And it's gonna have eyes right. Okay, hold on. I'm thinking. Okay, eyes right here. I'm guessing. Okay, and then we're gonna see, Ben, you can show a picture of an octopus, and we'll see how close I got. Okay, and then we're gonna put highlights like they go, like they I think I remember they actually have like a brow. It comes like an overhang.
Yeah, well, maybe you should just come look at this because this stuff is like
you're not gonna guess. You're not gonna guess.
Yeah, right. This is not a
what? Okay, hold on. I just want to give it the old college try.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, your color is
how is it?
So far, it looks like garbage.
Whoa! Man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Never would have guessed that for the pupil. Okay, well we can add that. I mean, it's got a brow. I see the visible eyebrow in there, and I see that it has the overhang. It has the under eyelid. Really, it's got the parts. Amazing that a sea creature like that has the similar parts. I'm not sure if it can blink. Can an octopus blink? I don't see the eyelids on it.
Dude, you blink when your eyes are dry. Octopus live underwater.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do to create that. I'm going to put the yellow right here. And then I'm going to put a little bit of a brighter yellow right here. I'm going to create the brighter spot kind of right there. All right.
You know, Jan has an interesting question. Do you think that children's eyes are different than adult eyes?
Oh, absolutely. That's what we should do. We should do child eyes. That's what we need to do. because there are some very key differences that I think that you'll find handy to understand. All right, we're going to throw in the last bits of shading on this makeshift octopus. Like this. We're
2 minutes and counting.
This, we're going to do this. We got tentacles. Yeah, it's impressionistic. Okay, it's a Monet style.
Oh, look at that. Highlight and shadow, too. Never too busy for highlight and shadow.
no, that's how you create it. It's like working with Play-Doh. Okay. Yeah, let's do childlike eyes. That's a very good in understanding childlike eyes can really be inspiring to creating characters of all different. If you can do the big masculine bony eyes, and you can do tiny soft childlike eyes, you've got a big spectrum that makes you able to accomplish a lot of things. Okay, so we're going to go like this. We're going to create sockets again, and we're going to I'm using my pre-mixes now so that I can work faster and be more effective. So we're going to go cheekbone. Now, this is an important part to placing eyes, is understanding that they have their place. They have their place in the socket. And so we have to get the socket built. And even if you don't do the socket first, understanding, visualizing it is a huge thing. Children don't have deep eye sockets, so I don't want extremely dark shadows. So we're just going to go like this. We're going to go like this. These are the shadows on the side of the nose. I can just do them real quick with a little swoop. And then we're going to blend it softly from, see this shadow right here? We're going to go much softer and gradual. Softer meaning not a sudden change, but a gradual blending change. As we go like this. And we're going to make the eyes fill up a lot more of the skull. So they've got to come close to the edge of the head. I've got to make the nose so that we can build the context. Let's put the nose high and small. All we need is a shadow like this. And then we're going to take that was my mid-tone color. Let's put the little ball of the nose right there. Let's go like this. And then let's put another little bloop for the nostril, another little bloop for that nostril. Okay, and this is very messy, but I want you to see just how messy you can be and still get the look of a child just because the knowledge is that reliable. You don't have to guess your way through it. Okay, brightness up here for the forehead, and we're just going to make nice, soft, gradual changes. We don't want a real sharp line between the upper eye socket, between the brow and the nose and the forehead. We want all these to be more blended because that represents more gradual curves, and those more gradual curves are more childlike. Okay, now we're going to put highlight in here, and I'm just doing it to reapply it and make the blending softer. So we're going like this, going like this. Okay, we're just carefully making this go up here. Okay, and then we'll brighten this top spot right here. I didn't mean to put that light spot right in there. Okay, so now we've got a more childlike head. And then the edge of the skull, let's put shadow on the edge of the skull. I want the edge to be close enough to the eyes that it looks young. Because if I go way out like this, if the edge of the skull is a whole eye distance, that's adult. That is an adult proportion right there. But if I bring the edge in a little bit closer, so this is the edge right here where the dark meets the light. And so if I start merging that with my light color, you can see, and then I want to maintain my soft blends like this. There we go. Okay. We're not painting a whole child's face, but I just want to set the stage good enough so that we can see how it fits into this socket. Okay, soft edges, soft face. We're ready to go on the eyes. So now the whites of the eyes, I'll just do the whites of the eyes first. This is going to look really creepy for a little bit, okay? Bear with me while we do a creepy look.
I mean, a lot of kids are creepy, man. So, yeah. Way to be real, bro. Way to be real.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not my kids. Okay. Actually, it can be. There was a time when my oldest daughter now, she came to our bedside and she was kind of shy. She didn't have the boldness to just wake us up at night. So she would just stand there and wait for us to notice she's there. So in the middle of the night, the form of a child by your bedside as you're waking up from who knows what kind of a dream, and it's just silently standing still waiting.
That's some horror movie stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we've made for ourselves all these thrilling horror movies with that. I do wonder if the movie hadn't been made, if it would still have the same creep factor. But she did. She would do that, and it would creep us out. Like, yeah, what do you want?
Why are you so patient? You shouldn't be that patient. Wake me up.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
stand there patiently.
That's it.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see that I'm going brighter in the middle. I get darker as I go toward the edges, and the eyes are really misshapen at this point. But they're going to take more shape when I actually put the other elements in place. Okay. So a child's eyes.
So here's another nightmare that you're going to have tonight.
Here's another. By the way, what color should we make these? Let's just go ahead and do the rest of the eyeball. Let's make
red, right?
Red? No. Child, come on. Let's keep it friendly. Let's make red eyes.
Hey, Cats on Pics says, thanks so much for making the video on how to draw eyes. And we got a lot of email too from people saying thanks for that eye video. So
hey, all right,
last week, Joe drew eyes. So be sure to check that one out too.
Nice. That's very good to hear. I'm happy about that. Okay. A child's eyes. We want the distance between the irises to be a believable proportion. So here I am making my brighter, more vivid brown near the base of it. Now I want to be able to count something like 3, maybe a little more than 3 circles in between. So this really is the max size that I would want on this, because by the time I put one in here, you're going to see that they are a bit too close to be lifelike proportions. So then we're just delving into fictional characters at this point. If you have less than 3 circles distance between, it's just not consistent with most humans. That's all. And it can look really fun on fictional characters, but in order to understand what is immediately the natural proportions that people have, it's on children a little over 3. Okay, so here 1, 2, I'm a little bit too close. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust that actually, and I'll just do it by creating some gray. And it's amazing how effective this is. I keep saying that to myself, but what a terrible sloppy job I can do and still have it look like eyes, just because the biggest difference makers are not the details, but the general placement of things. Okay, so I shrunk that back a little bit to get something closer to 3 eyes in between. So that, 3 eyes in between could be anything between like a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, depending on the individual, because people are unique. They can vary, but that's just an average. Okay, now another feature of children's eyes is these corners. We have these real distinct corners on an adult. So here I would see, let's get a little more of this reddish color and just do a real quick modeling of an eye corner. We're going to go like this, just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Hey, when you say eye circles, Jacob is asking, are you referring to the irises of the eye circles?
Sorry, weak terminology. Yeah, definitely. We're talking about the iris when I say the eye circles. I like to think of them as a shape. I think that's why I get caught up in calling them the circles, because I'm just thinking of it as a geometric shape. But yes, you are definitely right to call it the iris. That is what I'm referring to. Thank you for that clarification too.
I mean, that'd be pretty weird looking like 5 whites of your eyes apart.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now I'm I'm just really spelling out what difference is between the adult and the child. We may see a lot more of this corner because as a skull expands and grows, these corners get bigger. So you'll see in the older we get, the more you'll actually see these corners as they seem to be getting pulled tighter, and then maybe the skin gets looser and they're not tight, but they still are visible. So you get lots of corners in older people. So watch the difference on a child just by leaving those corners out and rounding the top eyelid all the way down and over. I get a very childlike look. So let's do that real quick. Let's go like this. First with the mid-tone, we're going to go like this and create a natural shadow. So we'll go here, and look, I'll go straight up. I'll arch over. I'll overlap some of that iris, not eye circle. Got to get away from that incorrect terminology. Okay,
confusing.
Now I'm going to do the same thing with my highlight color. We'll grab that, and I'm going to go right on top of that, maybe about right here. The smoothness of this curve also helps it to look childlike because the bone structure has not hung down over the eyelid to obstruct the natural curve around the eyeball. And so you have a lot of smooth curve still, usually a bit more visible on more feminine eyes, things that have less bone growth, really. So as male faces grow, the bones increase, they start obstructing these otherwise smooth curves. And so you get the look of age by understanding that. Okay, so now I'll put a little bit of the lower eyelid, and it's got to be subtle. We don't want a real extreme lower eyelid, but it's barely going to leave a corner. Hardly any corner at all. So you can see very rounded shapes there. So now let's grab the light color again, and let's go maybe the other way. We'll go like that. And then I'm going to take my lighter color and just ever so slightly try to, let's put some there. Let's try to soften this right here, because this,
you got an email from Marianne here. She was talking about how much she learned last week when you were drawing eyes about this section, the eyelid, and how she
nice.
now understands that you're representing the thickness of the skin with this part here.
That's it. Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Okay, so all I did was take my light color and blend it into these dark colors so that it doesn't look like a sudden change of direction, but it softly comes and forms the beginning of this upper eyelid. So this is one strip of skin that goes like that. And so now I'll do the same thing on the other side to get this more childlike eyeball. So I just want to try to get this in the right place. We're going to go here first. This method works pretty good. Do the darker color first, and then the lighter color over the top. Hopefully this will
and
land in the right
Brenda is finding it helpful to see that 2 times now you've started by creating this Phantom of the Opera mask.
Totally.
As your process for making a face. Is that
it is
common?
It is very, for me, it's my method. I think that you can start once you know what the parts are. Let me encourage you to find your own favorite place to start. It's a way for me to think through it, and you just don't be hung up on my order of steps. But for me, yes, that is definitely my normal workflow, is building the larger 3-dimensional shape, putting the smaller 3-dimensional shapes inside of it. Okay, so here we can see that we have a lot less of the corner showing. Then, it helps if I have there is a little bit of an overlap where the top eyelid overhangs. So we'll just put a little shadow coming down. We want just a little bit of that. And then to make this look a little less Phantom of the Opera, like it's just missing the details of the parts. That's really all it's missing. So watch how this quickly comes to life. Let's put a brow on top of each eye. So we're going to put one right here, about an eye distance, something like an eye distance. is a good starting point. And then have fun going your own way with it I think that if you're able to identify a set of averages and get real good at quickly reproducing that set of average proportions, then you get really, really skilled at quickly altering that set of averages as well. You learn to paint any letter of the alphabet, and it becomes easier and easier to quickly paint different fonts of that letter because of the information you've already stored. So you can get good at doing your average face, average proportions, and then to turn it into an actual individual. Okay, I want to show you something about eyelashes. Because I just don't have the steady hands to do this, but I really want you to understand eyelashes. We did it when we were drawing, but it's fun to understand that you can just do a check mark. So to do a good eyelash, you think of it as going down and up again, and sometimes that's down and up again over the same stroke if it's facing right toward me. But they flare outward. So here's what I'm trying to do on a real small scale. I'm trying to go like this, like a check mark. Shoop, like that.
J-whoop.
I'm trying to do that just like I paint waves, but on a real tiny scale. That's just really hard to do. Oh, look, the brush is, it's working for me. I'm doing a much better job on this one, Ben. Look at it. Okay, there we go. Look, we got the check marks. Okay.
Oh, look at that. Joe learns from failure too.
The warm up did me good. Okay, so we're just doing those little swoops. They go outward, and the more toward the edge of the eye, the more outward they go. Okay, now I'm going to do even smaller ones. Same thing, but opposite and smaller for the lower eyelid. So let's just do little things like that, and then let's really bring them together on the corners, outer corner of the eye. The eyelashes will come very close to each other, right here on the outer corners. Okay, now I feel like I could go a little bit brighter on the whites of the eyes. So let's add a bit more.
Before you adjust that, come on over here and look at something I got here for you.
Let's check it out. Let's check it. Oh, nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
Just with two tones. Look at that three-dimensional popping eye.
So this one's coming at you from Mary C.
Mary,
She's
nice
out there.
job. Nice. And I love the little muscle details in the iris. You got all the texture in there.
She's got an eye in the sky, graphite pencil drawing.
Sweet.
And she says, this is what happens when you let your mind wander.
Yeah. All right. That would be really fun to do. I used to like doing artwork on the pick guard of my guitar.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like really fun guitar art or tattoo art, whatever. That's fun.
Mary, see, you got a future in tattooing.
Yeah, for sure. Nice work. Thanks for sharing that, Mary. That is super cool looking. I love shapes, and that's filled with shapes. That's something that I used to do a lot when I wasn't trying to get certain projects done, was just have fun like that with flowing shapes. So one of the last things I'm going to do here is put a brighter middle on the white of the eye. So it's funny. I thought I had a real light color here, but then when I go, that's actually a pretty light color already. Okay, so always leave yourself room to put those white highlights, well, if they're important, if it's something you need in the picture. I shouldn't say always. Every time I make a statement like that, I end up eating my words later. Okay, so that makes my eyes look more rounded. And now I'm ready to put the dark pupil and the white reflection. So right there, we're going to put another one right here, like that. And then we're going to put, and all of a sudden these eyes are focused on something, and it's a person in thought, just by putting those little dots on there. And so that's how you shave off the corners of the eye and manage the distance between the irises and the curves of the lids, and put all the shapes together to get more childlike eyes. We want those different things. So it's very very consistent. You know, you can always rely on that. You don't have to guess your way through how to get that childlike look. I'm going to put a little more shadow right here, like this. Right there. And the more, you know, you find when you do this, when you start playing with the skull structure, just with these light and shadow colors, the personality just rapidly changes from one person to another. It's like, whoa, this is why people are so diverse, look so different, because tiny little changes of these shadows here, the width of the nose bridge, the depth of each shadow, all those things contribute to, you can put it, if you're just making a character and it doesn't matter exactly who it turns out to look like, you just put it wherever you like. But this is the stuff that long days are made of when you're trying to do good portraits, is trying to manipulate the exact placement of all these shadows. But I do want to say, you know, who was it? Someone was mentioning how I seem to always start with that Phantom of the Opera look. Well, the reason for that is because a huge amount of personality. Okay, for instance, this is going to be my best attempt at myself and my brother Ben, because this is a family trait. So I'm just going to go like this. We're just going to real quick make a very, very simple portrait. I'm just going to paint out the background. Okay, so goodbye, monster.
Oh, like man, goodbye, monster.
Goodbye, monster. We're just putting a background on here so we can isolate this picture.
You know, so when we started the day, Leanne, she starts out with, "I wonder what Joe painted over this time."
It was a Christmas scene. It was really cute. It was like a little house in the snow with a little cabin and some Christmas lights on it. It was really
gone forever.
Yep. But I've got several copies of that one. Okay. So we're going to
check this out. Check this out real quick before you get going on that one.
Okay, no problem. Let's check it out. What do we got?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, we did realistic eyes. Aaron is out there doing cartoon eyes.
Yeah, nice job. But this is such an excellent model for how you take the same parts and you appropriately manipulate them to your liking, you know, to get your character. But we could totally go through and look at what parts are omitted because they don't need to be there, and what parts are exaggerated because they really make the feeling. Nice job. Nice job. That is very cool.
Yeah, and then we got another one real quick from Aaron, just a little icing on the cake.
Okay.
You know, he's got a couple of these people
oh, nice.
I
like the sideways mouth. This one, yeah.
Yeah, man. Ninja right.
Woman. Yeah. So I'm curious about the blonde. Is this pre-kicked or dodging the kick after the kick?
That is kick anticipation right there. That is
here it comes.
I'm about to get kicked in the face.
But she does have a chance at survival because she's already backing up, adjusting for the impact. So there's it's not total doom on her part.
She's figured out how to slow the impact, expand the range of deceleration. Put the back.
That's pretty cool. That looks like some good fun digital art.
She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
Okay, so we're just going to make a real quick face. So when I'm doing like faces, for instance, if I want to do faces in a stadium, I might need just a really quick method of putting together faces without messing with details, because I just can't. Okay, so I know that on most humans, the eyes are very close to middle, and on Cornelius people, which is my brother and I, our eyes tend to be level or to slant slightly down toward the outside. I also know that our sockets are not very round. We have some pretty squarish shaped sockets. So I'm going to go like this. This is intended to look like something similar to Ben or myself. And so here's the shape of the socket. There's that slight slope down to the outside. The nose bridge is very typical of white white people to be skinny and deep. So I'm going to make sure that I come close together with those sockets. And we're just going to go like this. We're going to dark spot there, make sure we have that. And then, let's see, shall we go Ben or Joe? What do you think? Let's go.
Do yourself.
Yeah,
People know the way you
myself.
look. It'll be more impressive to see you paint.
Ben's nose is a little bit lower and flatter. Mine is longer and higher. So
yeah, mine also got elbowed really hard on the basketball court a couple of times.
Oh, it's okay, Ben. You don't have to make an excuse for your nose. We accept it. We accept it.
It's very self-conscious.
Really?
Snore at night.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a very good looking nose. You know, who needs a symmetrical nose anyway? Okay.
Symmetrical's overrated.
It's just a shadow. It's just a shadow right here. And then the mouth. Okay, I'm going to put a mouth, and the height of this mouth, the very general shape, and the height of it, and then a little shadow under it to show how the lip overhangs the chin. So this set of shadows, and then I can go like this, and then if I'm getting more on the detailed side, let's put a little more of my light color here, and then let's create the shape of the cheekbones and skull with these diagonal lines right there between chin. So with these shadows alone, if I spent a few minutes really working on the shapes of these shadows, this alone could give a recognizable likeness of a specific individual. And that's why we can tell when we're seeing someone we know from too far of a distance to actually see the wrinkles in their face or the distance between their irises. We actually have these general shapes. So this is where likeness begins. It begins right here with this set of shadows. And so if you're really diving into the details and you're trying to get some specific job accomplished, then put energy into getting these shadows dialed in, because they make a huge difference. Okay, that's right here. We'll do one for, now that I've got that, this is how to do eyes. I feel like we need to throw some eyes in here now. So watch, just black. Here's a fun little trick.
Hey, while Joe's throwing these eyes in, everybody, it's been about an hour and a half. That means that we are going to start winding down. But before we do, last call to send your work to info@muraljoe.com if you want Joe to see it. Also, head over to muraljoe.com and check out a whole wealth of other stuff just like this that he's got available.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for that shout out. Always good at remembering the things I forget. Okay, now watch this. Instead of doing any details on the eyes, I'm going to take white and I'm just going to put a light spot. Which way should it be looking? What do you think? Left, right, center? What do you think?
Well, let's do down and to the right.
Down and to the right. Okay?
Let's say like embarrassed, like
so a dot here, a smaller dot here, down to the right. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Same thing on the other eye. Just get some white. We're going to do a dot here, and we're going to do a smaller dot here. There you go. That's it. That's how you can make a real quick set of eyes. And if you got to do like 100 people in a stadium, this method is way more practical. It looks amazing when you have a whole stadium full of faces that look that convincing. Let's put a little bit of...
Hey, so before we wrap up, thank you, everyone out there, for reminding us while Joe paints an emo haircut on this person.
Yeah.
They want to see glasses, man. We said we're going to do glasses. We got to do glasses.
Okay, let's do glasses. All right. If you want to put glasses on something, if you really want to go like detailed, make them realistic, then you can look at. We'll flip to my face real quick. We'll go here. So
Maybe baby glasses.
Okay.
Do some baby glasses.
If you look at my, actually, here's a better idea. If Brian zooms in, yeah, I'm gonna get in front of the camera. Go ahead and zoom in on my face. We'll do because I'm wearing glasses, so we'll do. I don't even need to look at my glasses to know what's going on because I can see where the lights are. there's a light over here that's going to come and it's going to bounce off of my lenses. So you're going to see it toward this side of the lenses. And so then in the room, there's darker light on the floor. So if you looked real close, you might see that there's a little bit more light on the top half of my lid to make the eyes a little bit smaller. So you can see when I go like this, you can see on the edge of my skull here, you can see how it goes down, and then behind my glasses it's kind of set in. So you can do that little trick. I'm not going to do that in this demonstration because we can still get the look of glasses without doing that, but I just wanted to point that out. So if you're looking at pictures, you can look for it. Okay, so let's go back to the canvas. And let's see if we can do a real quick set of glasses. That'll be our last challenge. This might be like the heat waves. You know, we might be headed for another another heat wave challenge right here. Okay, I don't think so. I think we can pull this off. So let's go. Actually, before I do the frames, we're not going to do frames. We're going to do the reflection first. Let's go here to this child's face, which is, oh, that paint is still kind of wet. We might be able to pull it off. So let's get white, real watered down white. And we're going to go like this. We're going to put the top half like this, right here, like that. Okay, let's get some watered down white again, like this. My brush is real watered down, you know, so we're going to put just the top half. I'm filling in what is going to be a circle. I'm just going to bring it right across the darker colors, because if I get a line like that, it'll look even better. Okay, I'm going to leave the bottom half darker, maybe even put a slightly dark reflection. So let's go for the black. And let's add plenty of water because we don't want a lot. Maybe some brown because it's going to look overly bluish if I don't maybe color it a little bit. And let's go like this. Let's go. Okay, a little bit of a shadow there. All this is the reflection of an environment where there's darker colors downward, there's brighter colors upward. Okay, then I'm going to put a light source. Just, you know, a suggested light source. Let's say that it is over to this child's right side. Took me a while to think of that. So we'll just go like this. There we go. A little bigger there, a little smaller here. Okay, now
some baby frames.
Let's put the frames. What kind of frames? Should we be nice or mean? Let's go like this.
I mean, maybe give them some of those aviators that you rocked in your childhood.
Yeah, okay. I'm really concentrating right now. Just so you know, I am really, really concentrating. Okay, we're going to go like this. Okay, let's do another one right here. Let's go like this. Not the easiest thing I ever did, for sure. Okay. Different sized lenses, that's okay. Sometimes people like different sized circles on each side. There you go. How about that? Okay, now we're going to put the bridge right here over the nose, like this. And let's put the little nosy rests right there. Let's just go like this. Junk. Like that. And so you can see that this is not rocket science. I'm painting a reflection of basically a landscape, but transparent. And then I just put the frame around it. So that's how you can handle reflection. You know, if you want to do something fun, this might be fun. Let's put a little suggestion of something, maybe just a tiny bit on the creepy side. Let's put kind of colorless because it is reflection and it's transparent.
Hey, while you do this, answer this question from Very Cute Illustrations.
Okay, what's that? Very Cute. That's good. Like the name.
Are you ever worried about messing up?
Oh yeah, all the time. I just consider it the thrill. You know, you need a little. Why do we watch horror movies, right? You know, are you ever worried that a hand is going to come out of the dark and do something awful? Yes. But that's what life is made of. We do it for the thrills. Okay, so I'm going to put like an object because this is, oh, here, let's put a head right in the reflection. And then we're going to put the body of a person going down. All right, so this child is now looking at.
Hey, so Brenda is calling you out right now, saying, so what, the light source in the glasses can come from a different direction than the light source in the eye?
Oh man, I'm busted.
Oh.
Shoot. Yeah, good observation. Who said that?
Brenda gets 5 stars for calling out.
Yeah, nice job.
Inconsistency.
Nice job. That is very good for you to notice that, because yes, in the natural world, we would expect to see. So here's what I'm going to do to reconcile that. We're going to put a second little light right there. And then we're going to put a second light right.
Oh, look, problem
here.
Solved. Problem
in here. Ta-da! Okay.
So to answer the previous question, is Joe afraid of messing up? Well, this is what he does when he messes up. You know, turns it into a thing.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely have fear of failure. I'm not immune to that. But I think at some point in my career, I decided that my importance as a person has nothing to do with my ability as an artist. And I just accepted that there's gonna be times when I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm not the best. And if in the future I have to lose my ability for some reason or another, I want to be able to do that. You know, we all have to let go. So I think I've just really dedicated myself finding my identity as just a loved child of God, and not because I paint well enough. So it makes me a little more free to fail in front of people. Okay, what are we looking at here, Ben? That's awesome.
Check out this horse from Ross Beck, man. This thing is cool.
Dude, now that is a fantastic blend of intentional blending and whatever you call it, like natural separation. I would love to know, man. I hope there's like a video or a documentation of how you executed this picture.
That thing's rad, man. Cool.
Yeah, I would love to see that being painted, because I can see that you have natural separation, that you allowed nature to take its course and then manipulated it into the right spots to get that. That looks
stay
awesome.
tuned. Here's another angle on this guy right here.
Mural Joe is presenting. Oh, do you like sell these things for $1 million or what?
That's what I'm saying, man. That thing's fly. Nice job,
Dude.
Ross.
What really strikes me about that is, again, the combination of natural light and shadow with the intentional, the artificial created light and shadow versus what naturally separate. Your blending of those two things is a fantastic contrast. I love that.
So we also got one from Cat's Art Picks. So they've been doing some sea turtle action in their own.
Okay, let's see it.
It's kind of a sea turtle kind of a season here.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nice. Thank you for posting this. Wow, cool. So I wasn't the only one working away on a sea turtle.
Tis the sea.
Yeah. When you do sea turtles, you know there's a cuteness to them. They are just the cutest things. My wife got to see them in person. She went to Hawaii. I didn't get such a privilege, but you know, good job capturing those eyes, those slanted big eyes. That's really where the character is. You know, that's the signature look of those things. I loved digging into those details when I was painting one. Nice job.
So then Clover here, she sent you a picture of her dad that she's been painting here.
Oh, how does Dad feel about this? Let's see. Hey, not bad.
Dad's about to get immortalized here on Mural.
Nice. Wow, good job, man. The complexity of the skin tone is really worth mentioning on that. I mean, you're seeing me just slap 3 colors on, getting not nearly the lifelike complexity that you've got. That is not an easy thing. It's not by a long shot an easy thing to get all of that diverse color. But it's worth looking at these really well done diverse pictures because you can see that the lighter colors tend to be yellower than the darker colors. That's a very common, distinct pattern. It's helpful to understand as you're doing skin tone.
Hey, talk about this real quick. Barry Cute is asking again, any advice for pushing through the ugly stage? You know, like when you're like painting and you're like, ooh,
yeah.
Ooh. Do I keep going? Is this worth my time? Is this horrible?
Yeah. I would imagine it's similar to advice for pushing through from first base to second base, just to put it in plain analogy. You know, there's danger in the transition, there's awkwardness in being off balance, but you have to go through awkward transitions in order to get to the next stopping point. It's just the way life is. So push forward. Just push forward and have faith that you do have the ability to learn what you need to learn, apply it, and see the difference you're trying to see. You know, I think that we get discouraged and think that we don't no longer have what it takes when we hit that awkward place. And that is not true.
That's true. We are changing creatures, ever changing. Just got to steer that change into something good.
Yeah.
So Clover's asking about the eyes here on her father specifically. How do you feel about these eyes?
Fantastic. Beautiful job on those eyes. Okay, so I don't know. Let me see if there's anything I could suggest for enhancement of what is already a beautiful thing. You know, I would ask this question because I haven't seen what kind of a model you're working from, what kind of a photo. Sorry about the icon in the middle, but I'm just pointing with this arrow. Are you in a lighting scenario where the top brow should be not much darker than the other shadows on the face? Because typically with overhead lighting, then this might be just a touch darker and you might get deeper sockets. But if that doesn't fit, you know, if you have lighting coming from straight ahead, it's just a question because it's common. But if you have, staged lighting that's coming from directly in front of the subject, you may very well have tones this light on there. It's just a good question to ask. Is it possible to cram any more color in the lower part of the iris? Because that can really enhance the life, that the illuminated look of the eye is in the amount of color in that part of the eye. But you don't want to go overboard and make it so that it's not your dad's color. You know, these are just questions that you can ask. So on the eyes, I think you have done a fantastic job. Just keep in mind the parts and ask those questions. That's the best I can point you. Nice work.
All right, that does it for your guys' work. Any further comments here? Squeeze them in real quick. Joe's going to take us home.
All right. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you. I just have to say that I am looking forward to the resource that these videos can be for future viewers. It is my dream. You're helping my dream to come true by giving super valuable feedback as I'm painting, as I'm talking. You know, something that I feel is really missing from the art industry now is the kind of instruction that says, if you do this, then this will happen, and you can rely on that. And that's what I'm trying to offer, is by doing it live, saying, this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm doing it in front of you all to hold me accountable. And then you ask questions and you say things like, well, shouldn't there be a light source on the other side too, if you just put that on that side of the eyeball? Perfect. That's awesome. So I have to thank you for helping us to create good future content. It's going to be posted. Go ahead.
We're doing this next week as well?
We're doing it next week. We're going to keep doing this as much as we can. You can get on the email list if you're not already and be notified. But this is the target time right now, Tuesdays, 3:30. That's what we're targeting. And I send out a reminder email each week to let you know. But you can just come back to the channel on Tuesday afternoon. You'll see the video posted ahead of time. We're scheduling it in advance now. And we're going to do this for a while and then post the old versions at muraljoe.com. That's yet to come in the future, but that's going to be available to subscribers. Okay, that's it. We're gonna get out of here. And did I cover everything, Ben? Did we get it? Did we get it this time?
Yeah. Well, head over to muraljoe.com. He's got a lot of content for beginners, for advanced, for intermediate.
I do have that. Yeah,
looking for beginner stuff. So a lot more there. And looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Thanks for reminding. Thanks for reminding us, Ben. I'm always bad about advertising for myself too, but
Hey, you got good stuff. You got good stuff, man.